Hi, my name is Caleb Osborne, and I spoke with the two Spanish teachers, Miss Arze and Miss Torres, to just see how they teach Spanish.
How do you introduce Spanish into to students?
Okay, I introduced Spanish by learning the alphabet first because the sounds to Spanish is the vocal that you can sound out every letter. So we start with the normal, which is the ABCs. We start out with colors, the numbers, because they're the things that we use constantly.
Do you think that Spanish looks scary to students?
It's a foreign language, so yes, anytime you walk into, it's like going to one of the Latin countries and hearing this whole different words coming out of from other people's mouths. So yeah, it can be scary, and vice versa. If somebody comes from Latin American, a different country, yeah, it is English is scary to them. So yeah, they have the same feeling on both sides.
Um, do you think that a foreign language like Spanish will help prepare young people going into the workforce?
You bet. Going into the workforce, knowing two languages better than one language, your chances of being hired is that much more effective because knowing another language is a boss will want to know in case he does any kind of dealing with anybody that's foreign. So any language that they pick up, but here in the United States, there's over 60 billion Hispanic people. So yeah, again, that is really basically the language that is being carried and being recognized more.
Is is there only one Spanish language, or is it divided into multiple?
It is one. There are different dialects, but the Spanish itself is only one Spanish. Different words might mean something in another Latin country, where, like, you can take the example of an orange. In Mexico, it's known as a naranja, and if you go to and ask Puerto Ricans, they know it as a china. So it's different. So you always want to ask another person, how do you say this? We say it like this. What does it mean to you?
Um, what do you think is the hardest part about learning a foreign language like Spanish?
Well, everything is always hard. You have to meet up to the challenge. And by meeting up to the challenge, it means you have to do your best, put your best foot forward, and at least try to learn. And it's not hard once you get it started. The students start out with ABCs, especially if they don't know any Spanish at all. And then by the time they leave at the end of the year, they can read sentences in Spanish. So, yeah, they've challenged themselves. They've met that challenge.
What do you think the easiest part of Spanish is?
The easiest part is learning with bingo games. The alphabet and bingo. They love bingo games. They love doing the culture activities, learning from the culture activities, and I think that's the easiest part that they learn from.
Um, Last question. How does learning a foreign language make other languages easier to learn?
Most of them are what we call with changing the word and then learning the cognates. Cognates are words that you can kind of look at it and means the same in Spanish and English or in another language. Italian is very close to it. Latin is close to it. So just taking some of those words and learning them are really, really good together. The cognates, learning cognates.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you think students are intimidated when they first go into Spanish?
Yes, they are, but I try to set their mind at ease by telling them I have brought it down to more of the middle school level, but still teach them what they need for high school. And yeah, they're intimidated. Especially if it's their first foreign language. They're afraid that they're not ever going to be able to do it.
Is a foreign language like Spanish
Does learning it make it easier to learn other foreign languages like French and German?
Yes, they're all, well, German is not a romantic, but French is a romantic language. If you know Spanish, you're easily picking up French. You pick up Italian. Italian and Spanish are very, very close. Portuguese, Romanian, there's other languages. Plus, it gives you the benefit of having been through the process of learning a foreign language. And so you'll pick up even non-romantic languages because, there's Latin. Of course, it's a dead language, Latin, but almost French is too. But Spanish is spoken everywhere in the world. So it should be, and it's got definite rules, and they don't change. So they're constant.
In your experience, what do you think the hardest part about Spanish, or learning a foreign language like Spanish, is?
The hardest part,
Yes.
I think it's accepting it, and realizing that you can do it.
How do you start Spanish off, like to students?
I started by a simple, indefinite articles, definite articles, nouns, vocabulary, little words, words that they have seen and can use quickly, and teaching them the alphabet so that they can learn to write, because in Spanish, if you say it correctly, you write it correctly, because you hear every letter.
What is the easiest part about learning a foreign language?
It depends on what you make it. I can't give you what's the easiest part for each person because we're all different. So to me, the easiest part, if I were going to be learning Spanish, is the grammar. Verb conjugations are the easiest part.
What do you do to get students excited about learning Spanish?
They don't get excited all at the same time. Some get excited because they can say a word. Some get excited because they have written an entire sentence all by themselves. They can read. So I really can't tell you because excitement comes in different ways for different people. So I just put it out there. The most exciting thing, I believe, though, for kids is helping other people that speak Spanish and knowing that they got through. They understood what that person said, and the person that spoke the Spanish understood what they said. That is very exciting for them. And that usually occurs when they come back from spring break.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.